tocar un elemento que es la monetización. Monetización claramente es clave en este debate sobre datos. Y tenemos con Juan Figueroa Ferretti de Vocento una discusión en preámbulo de la mesa. Voy solo a pedirle que no les voy a dar el micro. Bueno, por favor. Casi no nos vamos a escuchar. La tercera parte de la jornada, tercera temática, es entonces la de la monetización. Y lo que me ha interesado hablando con Juan es un poco su visión transversal de los modelos. Juan trabaja en la parte estratégica digital en Vocento y me comentó un poco de todas sus observaciones que estaba haciendo en relación con los modelos, los distintos modelos, especialmente en Estados Unidos. Y más que solo tenerlo en la intervención de la mesa posterior, le he preguntado darnos un repaso, un poco un panorama de estos distintos modelos y creo que va a ser muy interesante, especialmente de hablar de un poco lo que llama luces y sombras de muros de pago, que de momento es un tema interesante para, digamos, el modelo de negocio de los medios digitales. Así que, Juan, te dejo la palabra. Vamos a hacer un switch. No me vas a perdonar por anticipación, que te voy a decir que tienes poco tiempo para hablar, si queremos, pero tendrá un poco más de tiempo en la mesa después para discutir todos estos temas.
Bien, pues quería traer, Vocento, entiendo que lo conocéis la mayoría, es un grupo de editor de periódicos, ¿vale? Que cuenta con más de 12 diarios regionales y como sello nacional ABC, el diario ABC, y algunos negocios también en el ámbito de radio y televisión. Quería traer este modelo porque quería hablar no de mi libro, sino de mi periódico, ¿no? Y más en el ámbito digital, ¿no? Porque es una transformación que aúna todos los retos que estamos sufriendo todos los medios y creo que bastante peculiar, ¿no? Me parece interesante compartirla con todos para que veáis cómo se comparte desde dentro, aunque veo que también en la audiencia también hay asistentes del mundo editorial y lo conocen bien. Entonces, la pregunta es, ¿muros de pago o pago por noticias en el entorno digital es realmente un negocio alternativo? Porque, a ver, ¿cuántos de aquí todo esto les suena familiar? ¿Conocen el tema del pago por noticias en el mundo digital? Bueno, como 40%, digamos, ¿vale? Entonces, está muy bien, todos los grandes editores, sobre todo los norteamericanos, se están lanzando a ello, pero ahí está la pregunta, ¿no? Realmente salen los números, y realmente el modo en el que se está llevando a cabo, tiene sus réditos ya. Entonces, por repasar un poquito cómo ha sido esta evolución del mundo de las noticias, del pago por noticias en el entorno digital, irnos a News Corporation Group, ¿no? Que fueron quizás los pioneros en lanzar esto del muro de pago con The Times. Creo que el smartphone no existía entonces y creo que tampoco las tabletas, ¿no? ni las e-tiendas que ahora todos conocemos como iTunes y Google Play. Según digo esto, también me acuerdo de aventuras muy tempranas, muy cercanas al año 2000, ¿no? que fueron rápidamente retiradas del mercado, ¿no? Como fue la del país. Pero digamos que ha empezado una nueva era, ¿no? En todo esto del muro de pago. Y en este caso es un caso de solo la home era pública, en el caso de The Times, y si querías acceder a cualquier noticia, ya vinieras de Google o vinieras directamente de la home, solo podías hacerlo mediante el pago, ¿vale? Otro modelo interesante es el de dos webs, ¿vale? El Boston Globe, que hasta hace muy poco tiempo pertenecía a New York Times, pues en la web se le conocía como boston.com, ¿vale? Era un site muy dinámico, entretenido, muy rápido, al ocio, digamos, muy práctico, ¿vale? Y a la hora de proponer una oferta en el ámbito premium digital, lo que hicieron es, vale, me llevo la marca del papel, que es el Boston Globe, y la doy un sesgo de autoridad, de seriedad, de premium y periodismo de calidad, ¿vale? Y la pongo en valor aparte, es decir, boston.com la dejo vivir tal y como ha nacido, más de ocio, con ese perfilado gratuito, y no la pongo en riesgo, ¿no? Esto lo hago en The Boston Globe. Otro modelo, ¿vale? Que por ahí, bueno, que está evolucionando en los diferentes mercados. En Europa, particularmente en España, es un modelo bastante común ha sido el de la puesta en valor del e-paper, ¿vale? Pero esto ya ha sido cuando las tabletas han ofrecido esa posibilidad, ¿vale? No antes. Antes ha habido iniciativas muy tímidas, ¿no? En el caso de Vocento impulsamos una alianza editorial principalmente con el Grupo Prisa y otros grandes grupos editoriales. Y bueno, ahí está creciendo, estamos bastante satisfechos y es un modelo un poco pues de agregación, ¿vale? Yo traigo todas las marcas premium y trato de captar la atención de la gente al pago a través de esta oferta, una oferta rica. Y el más popular, quizás por el ruido que está haciendo en la industria o quizás por el éxito, vamos, es el modelo Meter, que no sé si conocéis, que es básicamente yo te dejo mensualmente consumir X páginas vistas, X noticias de modo gratuito en mi diario, ¿eh? Y a partir de entonces ya te digo, pague usted, ¿vale? De hecho, Prensa Ibérica creo que también, que tenemos aquí aún, también se ha lanzado en esta aventura. No, pero es verdad, no es este modelo, es el freemium, perdona, que no, vale. Entonces, bueno, ahí estamos todos, ¿no? Este quizás es el que más ruido ha hecho, ¿vale? El del mundo, sí, el del mundo sí que quizás cuadra más con este, ¿vale? Con el modelo Meter. En América quizás es el más popular, ¿vale? O el que más momento ha ganado. Y bueno, y aquí está la duda, ¿no? Bueno, pues hemos visto la luz con esto. ¿Por qué digo lo de la luz? Porque New York Times aún haya más de 700.000 suscripciones digitales, ¿vale? Más de, ¿vale? No me acuerdo de la cifra exacta porque la verdad es que conforme pasan los meses cambia un poquito. Y bueno, pues nada, simplemente compartir con vosotros algunos análisis. En el caso del New York Times lo ha llevado a cabo ya cuando se convivía con el escenario multidispositivo, ¿no? Y bueno, la puesta en valor inicial que hizo era pues trabajar en la percepción de valor también muy en combinación con los dispositivos desde los que lo consumías, ¿vale? Entonces, bueno, pues una oferta era web más smartphone por $15 al mes, web más tableta $20 al mes, era otro paquete de suscripción, web más tableta más smartphone $35 al mes, ¿vale? Y suscripción digital gratuita para suscripciones de papel, obviamente con el objeto de retenerlos. Y bien, lanzar el muro de pago es suficiente, no es suficiente, el usuario va ahí, le gusta, ¿qué sucede, ¿no? Y bueno, pues ¿qué son estos puntos? La verdad es que ha sido una suerte que el New York Times haya compartido toda esta información públicamente porque nos da bastante luz de lo que sucede, ¿no? Pues todos estos puntos son las acciones comerciales desde el lanzamiento, que bueno, creo recordar que fue primeros de 2010. Estos son la curva de crecimiento de suscripciones y el tipo de iniciativas que han llevado a cabo. O sea, uno se espera que a lo mejor la gente venga y wow, el New York Times, esto me lo llevo, ¿no? Pues no, pues resulta que detrás hay un esfuerzo tremendo de iniciativas de marketing digital y marketing tradicional impresionante para crecer en número de suscripciones, ¿no? Bueno, aquí tenéis muchísimos ejemplos, ¿no? Pero al final se pueden categorizar todas las iniciativas en ofertas comerciales y promociones continuas, ¿vale? Ofertas comerciales, es decir, no vale decir que tienes el paquete de smartphone más tal a $15, ¿no? O sea, tienes que hacer hincapié, hacer muchísimas promociones, regalar 3 meses de esa suscripción, bueno, cualquier combinación. Alianzas con partners tecnológicos, regalar una tableta, dar cupones para la compra en Amazon, yo qué sé, a un precio razonable. Un enfoque en registro de usuarios tocando un poquito el tema de Big Data, ¿vale? Necesitas tener todos esos datos de los usuarios y para poder actuar luego sobre ellos. Enviarles pues, mailings, enviarles alertas por móvil, llamarles por teléfono, que es que también funciona muy bien, ¿vale? Y bueno, pues todo eso, campañas en base a los análisis que tú hagas en tu base de datos, pues este tío es corporativo, este tío es de deportes, le voy a enganchar por el tema del béisbol, le voy a enganchar por aquí, tal, etcétera, etcétera. Y un diálogo continuo con el usuario registrado suscriptor. Yo, personalmente, mi experiencia es que me doy de alta en estos sitios a modo gratuito y efectivamente yo creo que no hay semana que no me llegue una oferta por el Día del Padre, por el Día de la Madre, bueno, en fin. ¿Qué quiere decir todo esto? Que en el objetivo de poner en valor nuestros contenidos, ¿no? Los de un editor, lo que nos estamos encontrando es que nos estamos convirtiendo en un modelo de e-commerce y con unos nuevos retos añadidos, porque todo esto que hemos visto de estrategias de marketing, tanto digitales como tradicionales, pues yo qué sé, si sois usuarios de Amazon también os pasará, ¿no? Os llegan newsletters, saben que os interesa en la fotografía, os envían una newsletter con el bueno, pues al final estamos todos un poco convergiendo ahí. Lo cual, bueno, pues en cualquier industria, pues la verdad es que es un reto añadido, ¿no? Obviamente publicar en digital, ya sabéis que ya todos conocéis que es un reto, es decir, no exactamente lo que valía en papel vale en digital. Eso es un reto para las redacciones y en ello están y en ello llevan mucho tiempo, pero es que también para todo el área de negocio, todo el tema de marketing, pues es toda una transformación digital en sí, ¿vale? Bueno, la verdad es que voy bastante bien de tiempo. Y bueno, alguna anécdota, ¿no? en torno a esto, ¿no? Y en la situación que nos encontramos los editores y la posible audiencia, los posibles fans de los periódicos, ¿no? En esta viñeta dice, última hora, los periódicos están planeando poner todas sus noticias utilizando muros de pago. Y la niña le responde, ¿y qué es un periódico? ¿Vale? Porque, bueno, no solo es un tema generacional, también es un tema que en el mundo online quizás la entidad del periódico, la identidad se diluye un poquito más, ¿no? Porque la cantidad de websites, blogs, de comunidades que dan noticias y que no necesariamente llevan consigo la percepción de ser un periódico, ¿no? Y en cuanto al paywall, pues efectivamente no vale, o sea, como habéis visto en la curva que New York Times compartió, o sea, no vale solo con decir que yo tengo la mejor redacción, la mejor opinión, pues parece ser que no es suficiente, ¿no? Y un paywall, pues no es suficiente, ¿no? Tienes que crear el deseo, ¿no? El paywall, ¿no? La gente tiene que ver un valor mucho más allá, ya sea emocional, ya sea de combinado de servicios, etcétera, etcétera. Esta es un poco la historia, contada muy rápida, que yo creo que todos los editores, por la que todos los editores estamos viajando ahora mismo y aprendiendo, porque no deja de ser una curva de aprendizaje. Y bueno, me parecía interesante que lo conocierais, ¿no? de primera mano, un poco para trasladaros los retos que supone, ¿no? de transformación digital internamente. Hasta aquí, ¿vale? Ahora viene una mesa redonda que se van a debatir todos estos temas. Yo no sé si quieres, Nicolás, quizás abrir un turno de preguntas ahora al respecto. Vale.
So, we understand objects. Yeah? We are in real life. This is what television tries to bring you. So, what's that? Do we agree on that? Yes, no? Yes. There are some questions afterwards, because we should agree on the fact that the representation is not an object. Do we really understand what representation is? I don't think so. Because where is the meaning of that? In the pipe? In the representation? Hey, where is the meaning? In the pipe, we take the meaning with us. Okay. In the representation, no, no. So I try to find an example to say, let us get out of technologies which are only involved in representation. Why are we doing this? Why are we thinking that the representation is the meaning? This is the start of my conference. I will try to explain you what we are doing and what we are trying to improve for the media in this world. So, let us agree that this is life. Yeah? This is what we understand. What do we understand? We understand volume, deepness, highness, brightness. We understand time. We have a short time memory. We have a long-term memory. But do we really understand information? I'm not sure. Then we go to representation. This is where we are. Data. Data is not information. And the metadata should be something with the meta that give you access to the meaning of the data. It's not the data over data. This is nonsense. But metadata must give you the access to the meaning of the thing. So if we go to the meaning, we have to talk about semantic. And we saw this morning. It was coming in the other presentations. You see, this is life. This is representation. This is the meaning for the machine. Human meaning, machine meaning. We understand it since years. Yeah? We know that the relation between the simplifier and the signifier is arbitrary. The meaning is not in the representation. And this is the view of the machine. Bits. Bits. So there is a big semantic gap because this is the representation of the machine. And if we go on text or something like that, it still stays bits for the machine. And what is the meaning for the machine? Nothing. So we have to move. What do we have? We have virtually technologies for that. Technologies coming from the web. And this is a layer which is coming today upon the XML. It has the ability to declare the relation between the things. This is what we don't have in XML. The relations. So I can say, I know an author. Yeah. He has written a book. And the book was written by this author. This book has a title. This book has a publisher. And you see, this relation is in the database. This is the new what we have. So, not only the structures we have in the database, we have also the instances. And if we improve the relations inside of this database, we improve the instances. And if we improve the instances, the relations are better. We never had this kind of technology before. So let us move. Why are we so... we don't know. No, we have the way to get out of data. This is web technology. This is OWL, ontology web language. This is RDF. This is COS. We have languages for that. So we can move. So this is what I want. This is my presentation of today. This is what we are going to discuss. First of all, let us discuss interoperability. This is coming from the ETU. We agree on the fact that we need a technical interoperability. We have this. In files, in wrappers, we have this. Most of the time, we are working with the syntactic interoperability, which is quite heavy. We should move to semantic interoperability. And this is a level that we all know. It's how are we using words? Why are we using these words in a context? This is the summary, yeah? Technical interoperability is about communication protocols. The syntactic interoperability is about formats and models, data representation. The semantic interoperability is about the meaning of the content. And the organizational interoperability is about the culture. This is the view of the ETU. And I think it gives you a a good view of what we try to achieve in interoperability. So why is this important for interchange, persistent migration, and the most important for media navigation between objects? Second, the complexity of the data interchange. This is a broadcaster. We have to manage projecting, acquiring, authoring, expressing, supporting, and archiving in our companies. And then we have to deal with the outside. And then we have also to deal with the output. So, sharing a common data model inside of a company, maybe, and I'm not sure, we have to deal with these multiple data models. Yeah. And we have to map all these inputs and outputs to several models. So we cannot rely on one and only model. This is important because what do we have to express? Objects in evidence, events. This is important because when we have the event, we can rely these events with another event. Then we have representation of concept, facts, instruction, and activated processes. This is very, very complicated. Yeah. And we are dealing with this kind of complexity every day. So, let us talk a little bit about knowledge representation. This is text. This is one. This is really knowledge. It's the best way that we have today to express something. Yeah. We are not there with the computer industry today, but this is the road. This is where we should go. And then we have tagging. Yeah, very good tagging. You saw how many examples of tagging we had in the examples of the other presentation this morning. This is a very good technology. And then we have theory and taxonomy. Those are human-oriented technologies. The only one which is machine-oriented is web. Web tree. Another view on the same subject. The tree which are human-oriented and the only one which is computer processable. It's quite easy to structure knowledge with theories, not with text. This is what we have to achieve. We need this. You see the difference here? This is very important. This is where we should move. We should move to those structures. Because knowledge is there for the machine. Yeah. Knowledge is there for the human. So, a stupid question. What's a media? Stupid question. But when I go to university and I say, could you give me a description of that? It starts very well. A lot of ideas. But a clear view, a representation for the machine. What's a media? And I always start to say, let us start with the history. History, performing arts. What do we want to achieve? We want to stop the time. We want to manage the time. And I took arts. You can take football. Yeah, you can games, everything. Yeah. But there is a performing arts which is behind, which is quite important. Where we have a very small part which is designed on computer graphics and things like that. But most of the events are relying on performing arts. This was the start. Then we had press. Very important. We structure news. We structure the news. The concept came there. You see newspaper, which was the first structure. How you put titles, how you could really gain consumers. This was important for us because the models of the news are still relying on this kind of media. So, film. 100 years. What did we gain with film? The possibility to structure a story. We have an industry there. We have theaters. We have the storage which came with film. 100 years we have experience. Then we had radio, live. I could hear people. Yeah. This was very, very important in the beginning of the 20th century. You remember, most of the things of the Second World War came through radio. After that, we developed the network. Very, very important concept, networking. It was not possible to send things, to hear things, to view things. This is very, very important for media. We get out of the theaters and we went to networks. Important. What did we gain with television? Only pictures. We brought pictures to the radio. And the last thing, the internet, which is bringing us the interactivity. So, this is a very short story of the media. And I would like to say, if I look to media today, it's performing arts, newspaper, news, it's film industry, the radio. They invented a lot of things, games, and the network, pictures, interactivity, digital conversions, and we had processes, transformation that we have today, and the interfaces. So, this is a media. I took it very simple. It means that you take text, it is composed, it displays, it has description, it uses. It's a very, very large. But you see, this you can put in a machine. This a machine can understand, because every time you give to the machine the relations that you have between the terms. You see, we should work on things like that. We should work on structures. I'm always a little bit surprised to see how the people of the computer industry are dealing with structure and unstructured data. I don't feel right with those two concepts. I think semantically structure is important. You see, it has not to be in a database or outside of the database. It has to be somewhere where we can reuse it. And if we display the terms and the relations which are included in what we are doing, we are gaining knowledge. This is very important in what we are doing. So, how can we model this? We had this title in the last presentation also, editorial object. This is important. This is the prescription. What I'm going to do is the intention. We have to start from there. And when people are asking, Roger, what's the editorial object? I would like to say it should explain if it's text, audio, video, or a mixture of something. It should explain the event which is behind. This is the first concept that we built in our project. So, on the other side, and we did an orthogonality, it means that must have the opportunity to change everything in the annotation system, which is not changing anything in the editorial object. We discussed 2 years with the EBU to make this separation. You must be able to use any model that you need for describing a media. You must be able to change. If your annotation model is inside of your wrapper, you are linked. You cannot change this. So it's very important to say, I have on the other side annotation, the description, which has description and prescription. Prescription is the intention that I have on something, and description is what is inside of this thing. Then we have the morphology. This is important. This is the place to say, I'm linked to picture which are 2 minutes after the start somewhere. Yeah. And there you have the resource. This is JPEG 2000, this is MXF. This is all those tools that we have today. When we are taking what people call the media today, and I would like to say the physical layer, we wrap this content, the 3 layers which are on the top. So, you are able to say, I'm declaring the existence of something. And when I'm talking about that at conference, people say, hey Roger, do we really need to have the declaration of existence of something? And my question is, if you want to claim rights on something, it's better to have a way to declare that this thing exists. Or if you go somewhere in court and you say, I have something, I have the rights, but I cannot prove it, it's a very difficult session. So, declaring the existence is linked directly to the editorial object. And this is the start. And then you can imagine structures which are behind that. So, I think we have a good description of a wrapper of a media. So, let us see how it has to move. In a broadcaster, you have the prescription, editors with shooting teams, and we have editing, and it goes to exploitation. What we need, somewhere, it's an output bus. We should be able to take any metadata coming from everywhere to bring it to another place. Not all the metadata in a place. No, we should be able to say, those metadata coming from the camera, yeah, here, we can exploit them for color correction somewhere there. We can exploit the prescription to say, okay, there are some parts that should not be accessible to children. This should go directly to the playout as information. You see, this is only possible if somewhere you have a logical layer which is just like blood. You can take any information and you can deliver this information to somebody, to an application or to a database. This is the bus. And the bus has to do the transcription between all your tools so that you have a common language in the base there. Another view. This is the bus. We have 4 tools on the top. We are managing the knowledge base, the persistency, the exchange, and the media mapping. And on this tool, there you can imagine Avid, Apple, Adobe, all the things that we are using in broadcast. Text applications. This is the way that we are working in a POC, proof of concept, in RTBF. You see, the common layer to connect tools. Here you have the interoperability wicket, which manage the exchange between the network and the applications. And on the top, you have 4 tools which are there to manage your business. This is a way to work semantic. So, this is the RTBF view. We had 4 months here. Databases, those were archives. We had radio archive, we had television archive, we had a production tool which is media, and we had a production tool which is Ballet. And every time we are searching in those tools, we are producing links. We are producing information somewhere. And because we have this structure inside of the company, we are able to pump from the linked open data information. We don't have to aggregate data. We need, when we push on the button, the aggregation is coming. This is very rich because my database is very poor. As you may know, it's very difficult to put up a database. You have to put things inside. You have to validate them. You have to change it with time. Here, what you need is to have a core. You must know exactly what you want to achieve. You must have the terms. You must have the ontology on your system. And when you have defined the knowledge base on which you are working, you will accept what the outside work. Is it clear this way? Yeah. Those are the new ways. You saw examples this morning in Watson from IBM or in other presentations. I'm only bringing the layers which are behind the back of this. Yeah? I'm trying to explain how those things are working. And if we are semantic, it works better than only the syntactic interoperability. So, use cases. We had the first POC with RTBF. This is a news item. And you can see here all the objects which are inside of the news item. You can click on them and it opens you a way to navigate between the objects. We never had tools just like them. This is navigation between objects. We had the same with Radio France. And you see, this is audio. This is the timeline. And here you see all the items which are present in this timeline. Every time you click, you have access to the information, and you have the links and the links. You can go deeper and deeper. It's a question of zoom. You have to tell how deep you want to go, how far you want to come back. This is the difficulty, not aggregating information. The difficulty today is in the way that in the user interface. It must be very user-friendly. It must be very simple. You cannot use yourself inside of such a presentation. Yes? You see, this is what we did in GEMS. We took the ingest from the archive. We had a transcoding service. The enhanced program, it means that we took the terms which were here, and we were able to make the concepts here to bring the data to a level in which it was possible to make connections. And from there, we had enrichment inside of our chain. You see, this is very important for us, for production. This is the way that we want to produce tomorrow, to have the ability to navigate, to enrich from an event. Because when we have an event coming in, we don't know little things about that. We need to have the context to be very good, because public service. You cannot imagine to do just like some private companies to have scoops. No, you must be very, very good. So, this is an example coming from DBU. I have a friend there, Jean-Pierre Evin, and as you may know, Eurovision is dealing with a lot of presentation of events worldwide. We buy them. And he said, okay, all those data are there. What do I need to pump this data automatically? And he gave us an ontology which is there, which you can use. It's a very good model here. You have team, this participant and computator, you have the description, and you have the media resources. And the problem they had at DBU is that they are unable today to link the data that they are collecting from the databases with the event that they have inside of the Eurovision. This is another view, you see. I took a competitor, which is Le Maître. This is the big number. Yeah. The problem in television is the big number is always behind in athletic, so it's very difficult to catch this information. He competes in, yeah, and you have the results. Simple, no? Very simple. I found this a very good example of managing ontology inside of our data world. You have the data set, the competitor data set, the competition event, and the results, the data. So, conclusions. Yeah, I was surprised to see that somebody said this could be a bordello. Yeah, I'm quite looking at this because for me, a bordello, it's a place with a lot of pleasure, with human resources, where you cannot do what you want. So, but chaos, it's very clear. But I like very much this idea. This is the way where we can connect knowledge today. We have the network, and on the other side, the semantic knowledge. This is where we pump on the moment information, most of the aggregate data that we need. And as you may know, Freebase is somewhere there, and Google is behind Freebase today. The BBC had a lot of things there, but it's there. You can use it. So, main conclusion. The empowerment of your asset can be made in a quasi-automatic way. Yeah. Please, let the machine help us. Semantic, let's go on. It's funny. I think so. It's easy. I think so. It's powerful. Yeah. It gives you the compatibility with flat models. You can go to flat models. You can take flat models to go to semantic to improve them. I won't speak about OIS, Open Archival Information System, but this was the base of everything we developed, which is there. So, I brought with me a copy of that, and I will give it to Nicolas. We'll put a lot of description of what we are doing in this document, which is the first semantic web report, and I hope that we will be able this year to make a second one. Those are the partners inside of the projects that I'm running today, and with their help I have this knowledge because I'm making only dissemination, but the people who are working are there, and those are the people who are helping me. Thank you very much.